Let's look at there. Share my screen for a second. So what we've got.
Yep.
This is the corner here we're talking about, so that's the road down here.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to do, I just measured that out, so it's 150 metres to that point there.
All right, okay, yep.
And then 50, 50, and then you transition 50.
Yep.
These red lines here, so we'll probably, won't worry, I don't know if we bring in that whole bank,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say probably, as I've drawn there, you can see just from where the weeds are growing, and you can see the silt banks, that is the channel. Like, that's your channel there. Like, there's no need for the channel to be out that wide, and that makes it unmaintainable. So preferably, your inside top of bank would be around in there somewhere.
Right.
As opposed to even if it through there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because what that does there, it creates a silt bed, and then the machines can't reach it and anything. So we want to bring it back to something that's more maintainable anyway.
Okay.
But in saying that, we're going to have, this is all going to be protected from now on through there. So you're not going to need machines up on that bank. If they have to do anything through here, they're going to have to get in the floor and clean it from the floor anyway. So, so that's okay. But yeah, so what we talked about was we weren't going to touch that left bank.
Yep.
Remember we said that was going to be fine. And as you can see from here, until you get to this part of the channel anyway, it's okay. But from what I said to John was you wouldn't touch it. From here, though, you're probably going to have to work through that section there. You're going to have to clean that floor up just to get in there.
Yeah.
Through there,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have to come a fair way over just to be able to get a floor that they can work on anyway, because that silt bed comes out a fair way.
Mm-hmm.
Through here, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So on this side, it'll just be single bank, but then once you get to there, it might move over a touch, but hard to say until they de-water it as well. But the answer is clear to a hard bed, start to work from there.
All right.
So what else do we have in your email? It's pretty straightforward, just to clarify for you. Radio. Should construct all linings on a straight alignment. Yep, so that's fine. That's all right. We just don't really, because we can do that through here. We can just have the whole lot through here.
Yep.
If we wanted to, we could do that. I had incorporated fixing that corner of the road as we're going, because inherently what's going to happen if we do it through here, because that's 100 metres through there, so we're only talking about going so you could go from here to even through to there. That's 250.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're going to do is we're going to set up this small section of channel that's been fixed. And then if we come back and do more work, we're going to have to come to here and then jump over and then do this little bit anyway. Whereas if we just do that and then finish here somewhere,
Yep.
Then it's done up to the road and we don't need to 300 metres there. It's just done. And then if we ever came along, we would get to here and then we'd jump and then keep going, as opposed to have to do this little corner, which is a really inherently bad corner, and then start again. So this isn't going to be easy. It's going to be costing. As I said, it's going to be expensive to do this corner because you can see
Yep.
the reasons why. That's material that shouldn't be there on both sides. That's not weeds. It might be weeds starting to come through. That's weeds on the edge you can see, but that there is actually silt.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
we could be opening up a can of worms, but also we'll have a better understanding of what's going on as well. Where's this bloke's property? Oh no, he's back in here. There's a guy here who's a real problem as well, but he's back there, so it's okay. We'll be fine up here. Right, what else do we have on that left? I'm just supposed to get down a straight line there. Yep, and there might be a bit of that, but at the end of the day, there's going to be rock beaching. I don't think it's going to cause too much problems. You keep the other ones on the straight. They will differ a little bit. Funnily enough, I think it'll differ more as I had that drawing before. because of that, the way that's going to come into that corner there, it's probably going to differ more with that HDPE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if we go rock into HDPE, then into concrete, I think that's what we said we're going to do, is it? Or the other way around? The other way around.
Rock
it's gonna
into earth lock.
Yeah, into then HDP and then concrete at the end. Yep, that's one. So it's actually going to, I think it's going to impact that one there, which is that earth lock. Then it's going to impact the rock anyway, because it's going to come around this corner, and it is wanting to be going to the right, but then it is just going to go to the right. Again, there's no drop through here or anything like that though, so I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I don't think it's going to change too much.
So hang on. So that the red bit there that you drew, the red line, that is that the start of the? Is that?
So I would that's just that inside of that bank that I was saying.
Okay.
That red line there, and then that's the bank on the other side. That's really what they're going to encounter when they drain. They're going to have a bed of silt material there they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
So all that from there across is all silt, and they're going to have to take that whole lot out before they can start. So that's pretty important. This bank here will end up being used, but so will a fair bit of the material around here as well, on site hopefully. So he's right. Purely, you may get some performance biases as well. Yes. Are they going to be material? Maybe not. Hopefully, the three that we've chosen, rock, earthlock, and HDP, I don't think there's going to be a lot of performance differences between them.
Yeah.
It'll be more of a cost, ease of installation call, I'd say. The performance, we're not going to know for a long time to start.
Yeah.
But HDP's got 50 years on it. Earthlock, unless it starts peeling off the geofab, concrete doesn't deteriorate when there's nothing. Like the concrete should last 100 years, I'd imagine, depending on what MPA it is, but it's not just going to dissolve. It'll have to peel off and break off the material backing would be the first way to fail, I'd imagine. And then rock, you can maintain rock, you can pull it back up each year and that sort of stuff, and it won't go anywhere, essentially. It needs maintenance, but apart from that, it's fine as well. So I don't think we're going to see the performance issues anyway. So I don't think it's more the constructability, how much it costs and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a particular practicality.
Yes.
Yep. So I think we can still do that. So pick up anything we notice.
Yeah.
Through the corner and that sort of stuff. So it's good to know that. But at the moment, I don't expect there to be too much. But that's okay. We can still pick that up. Can we confirm the intention used to use? Yep. So those, and the intention is not to use those two on the straight because they won't be able to handle the corner. Just because it'll be easier for installation, and this is going to be pretty tight, this job, I'd say, by the time we get all the silt in them. So it's more about just, it's just going to make it a lot easier. Like as I said in the notes, like it's one length of HDPE. If you put it around the corner, you've got to have multiple pieces that are all welded and everything like that. So you bring in HDPE welders into it when you don't need to and stuff like that. So that was probably more the thinking there. So it's 150 metres into the bend, so it is a little bit longer. So there's an extra 100 metres worth of rock. So that there, from here through to there, is 150 metres.
So so that's how much we're going to line into the bend.
So I'll just rock from there through to the corner on that right-hand bank.
Oh, that very edge, that very end.
Yep.
Right.
Because there's no point having rock from there to, say, there, and then just nothing here.
Yeah.
If we're going to excavate this out, otherwise we might as well move up to the straight and do it all on the straight. So if we can afford to, which I can't say we can't afford to, it's at 100 metres earth, it's 100 metres worth of desilting, and refurbishment. If we're going to do 100 metres, we're in trouble before we start. Because remember, we're not touching this bank here.
Yeah.
It's only this one here. So we're only talking about rocking the metre below waterline up to waterline through this bank all the way through to there.
Okay, so it'll be more than 200 meters length.
It'll be 300. It'll be 300. Yeah. remembering that the last 50s actually do nothing. It's just do the earthworks and then leave it. So you could do the earthworks here and leave it as well. But we'll just rock it just so it's done, so we don't have to come back here, because there's plenty of rock around the area and that. So 150 metres of rock, 50 metres of earth lock, 50 metres of HDP, 50 metres of just refurbishment.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it's 300 metres of refurbishment,
Mm-hmm.
150 rock, 50, 50. That's the scope, essentially.
Yeah.
Also,
That answers that question.
yep, answered those ones, so that's all done. So I think I'm not sure if I read this properly when I read it properly before. So it's good that he proposed specific drawings. That's good. Rock arming into earth lock. So that's good. So what he's proposed there is fine. So it's just an earthen trench that he'll hem in together. So that's good. Earth lock into HDP. So earth lock matting runs into HDP concrete anchor footing, which is used to clamp and skew again. Earth lock may be trenched against the footing for a clean transition.
That's not what I heard from our meeting. I heard we were wanting to use rock beaching.
Yeah, so that was just an alternative. It might just be what he said's fine. So he's just talking about putting a concrete anchor at either end. So that's fine.
All right.
Just need to make sure that they're not too big, because you can get big concrete anchors. So essentially what he's talking about is hopefully a 300 mil wide concrete, two concrete plates, one at either end, and he'll essentially clamp the HDP onto them with a probably stainless steel strap, I'd imagine. Is how they have done it typically. And then he's going to transition that earth lock geofabric into that before they pour it, and then hit it down with the concrete anchor. So that's okay. And then hot concrete anchor on the other end into the do nothing should be fine. So what's going to happen there, though, I guarantee you at the end of that concrete anchor, that is going to erode quite quickly.
Okay.
So that will be your point of erosion, will be the end of that concrete anchor. So if we don't rock it at all, that will erode. Yeah. So that is how it gets to the weakest point, and then it chews at the weakest point.
Okay.
But in saying that, though, you can rock the first 5 metres, and I can guarantee it will chew at the end of the 5 metres.
Okay.
But it might be better to do that, so then it's chewing out under rock as opposed to underneath your concrete. So again, that's why you concrete around your structures. So very good picture you've got in the background of yourself, actually. So underneath that that communications tower, see how it's chewed out at the end of the concrete there?
Yeah.
So if you would rock that and put that further downstream, it wouldn't have chewed out there, but it would have just chewed out on the other side of the concrete. So wherever you stop, it's pretty much a sacrificial part of the channel. It's going to chew out there no matter what you do, unless you line the whole lot.
Yeah.
So that's what we're proposing. That the answer may be that we have to line the whole lot eventually, like as a very big CapEx program, if that ever comes to fruition. So I would say on the so I'm happy with the concrete anchor, but it probably wouldn't hurt to do a couple of meters of transition beaching just to protect that anchor.
A couple of meters, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't need 5, probably a couple of meters is probably fine, but just to protect the anchor. Otherwise, your anchor's just gonna chew out underneath your anchor, and then the whole thing's gonna lift up. So see what he thinks about how long. Let him make the call on how long, but it might be 5. Doesn't matter how far it is, whatever he thinks it is, but we need to protect that anchor. Otherwise, it's just gonna chew the anchor out. Reprofiling an inside bank.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, and this isn't about. It's not, to tell you the truth, by the time you get rid of the, and as we said here, by the time you get rid of that sill bar, you're not working on the bank. Even through here, you're going to be battling. I dare say that profile through there is going to be very much, not quite undercut like that, but pretty straight up and down. So by the time they come through, take this material out, the answer is it's going to be pretty much building that through there. So, and then we're going to line on top of it through that section there, roughly, in rough drawings with my mouse. So a cut to cut a bank. Yeah, so no, we don't want to cut a bank because cutting a bank. So what cutting a bank means is, if take that away, because this is another way you can do it. So you can come through and say that's your profile. And what we're going to do is do that and cut that out, which then gives you a hard bank, and you don't need a compaction or anything like that. Well, assuming the bank's solid. All you're doing is cutting the bank, and you're just making your channel wider, and then you line it up here. So we don't want to do that because our channel's already wider. Not in this specific section, but the whole point of the trial is to work out whether we can do that inside bank remodelling, which is the one that I drew here. If we can do that inside bank remodelling with the material from the site, so whether we can dig a trench in the middle, whether we can dig a trench out here, whether we can dig a trench out that side, swap the material over, silt in, put material out, silt in, is how you usually do it. So you can see you end up with the same profile in both situations, but your channel's 4, 5, 6 metres wider. And we don't want to they don't need to be any wider. We already know that they have plenty of capacity, as shown here. The channel's probably that wide and the channel's actually that wide. So we don't want to make them bigger because bigger, slower flows, more silt, that sort of stuff is the theory, but that's what we're trying to get clarified with the foundational condition assessments as well.
All right.
Yep. Very good. No, yeah, you're on top of it. It's very good. All right.
Awesome.
Good stuff. You're
All
learning
right.
very quickly about the muddy art
I know.
channels.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for your time.
It's a funny one because it's quite basic and straightforward, but it's also quite there's lots of little bits to it as well. So it all comes into it. So very good. All right, so you'll handle that with Paul now.
All right. Thanks.
All
Thanks,
good.
Jared.
Cheers,
Okay,
Patricia.
thanks.
See
Okay,
ya.
bye.
Bye.